Hello, friends, and welcome back to 20 Questions With. For those of you who are new here, this is my fun way of introducing you to other costumers and costubers by asking them 20 silly questions. Today, we are talking to Marie of Historical Belle. Welcome to my channel, Marie.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your channel and who you are and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, so I'm Marie of Historical Belle, and I started my costuming channel basically. It wasn't a costuming channel at first. It was just me dancing around with my historical dance troupe and reenactment group. And then Alicia Estelle messaged me and was like, hey, you should make costume videos like about how you make your costumes. And I was like, people want to see that? And she's like, yeah, do it. So I did. And the first video I ever made was of like a 1950s formal dress. And then I just kind of kept doing it. And I've been doing it for almost like 2 years now, which is like, whoa, it's been a while.
Yeah. Anniversaries are a trip because you're like, wait a minute, how long?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Alicia. She's awesome. I should get her to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's great.
All right. Are you ready to play 20 questions?
Yes.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
So when I was 5 years old, the first profession I can ever remember wanting to be was a prima ballerina.
Oh.
And I had been taking dance classes since I was 3, and I continue to do so for a very, very long time. But eventually I was like, I'm not going to be a professional at this. And then I decided that I wanted to be an actress.
Ooh.
And then I decided around high school, because I was very, very involved with theater in middle school and high school, and in my community too, with community theater. I started to like branch into I attempted to get into screen acting a little bit, and then I realized just how unstable and like casting calls and auditions and like you might get one part, you might not get one part, and I was like, I don't think I can rely on this for a living.
Yeah.
Like just like myself, I admire people who will throw themselves out there like that, but I'm like, I need personally something a little bit more stable.
This is why people are like singers, songwriters, dancers, actors, and waiters.
Yes. So I decided I need something more stable. So when I was going into college, I was thinking, okay, I thought I was going to major in theater. And then I decided, why don't I minor in that? And then I'll major in something else. And it took me like a few weeks, months to like figure out exactly what it was. But I've always loved history. Mm-hmm. Ever since I was a tiny child, I had American Girl dolls. History was always my favorite class. So I decided that I was going to go into history. Mm-hmm. And then I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what can I do with a history degree? And for about 2 weeks, I decided to be a lawyer and then a mediator. And I realized that I'm terrible at confrontation and that would be a terrible decision for me to do.
Yeah.
So then I was, after talking with some people, I had decided to focus on museum work and to go into and be a museum. And then my dream job became being a museum educator, where I got to interact with the public and teach them about history and make history come alive and we can learn about it. And then that's what I ended up doing.
And then COVID happened.
Actually, yes. So I got my dream job during COVID.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, I feel incredibly blessed for like the stars to have aligned in that way, because I was about to graduate when COVID happened.
Uh-huh.
And like, I was like, this is it. This is the end of the world for me. Like, what am I supposed to do when I graduate and everything is literally shut down?
Yeah.
But a museum that I had actually been a historical interpreter at, like all throughout college for their family days, had an opening right when I was graduating.
Oh.
Hello, would you like to come be our director of education? And I was like, yes, that's my dream job at my dream place.
It's like there was a silver platter walking by you and you were like, yes, I will have that canapé, thank you.
That's literally what happened.
Wow. That does not happen to people most of the time. So that's amazing. Good for you. Like,
very,
so great.
Very lucky.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow.
So that's my job. And I see like all of my things that I've done throughout my life come together for like this one moment, because guess what our main term, like form of historical interpretation is?
What?
Acting as historical characters.
Oh, wow. That is like 100% like on point for you.
I know, I'm like, I get to do history and acting, and it's stable, and it's my dream job. Trying to figure out how to interact with the public, which is like my thing during COVID, was super fun. But we have a digital studio in our basement, and we have a fantastic manager of our digital studio where we did a live stream every single day on a different subject for all of lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. Like, that's awesome. That's so awesome that you got that and that it wasn't a nightmare to do that. And that also you like ran with it. Like, go you.
We just like jumped in. I was like, let's go.
I'm mad impressed right now. All right. Jumping from that incredible story to a topic of import. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes. Okay, good. I was like, are you going to think I'm a monster?
No. We'll talk about hot dogs later.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that part then. Yeah. No, that's literally my favorite. Ham and pineapple on pizza is my favorite pizza. It's my go-to pizza. It's my go-to calzone. It's my fave.
That's awesome. My favorite pizza is actually pepperoni and pineapple. I don't like cooked tomatoes, so I'm also the heathen that orders it with no sauce. So it's like cheesy bread with pepperoni, and yeah, that's the way to go.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Scenario time. A penguin walks through a door right now wearing a sombrero. What does he say, and why is he here?
I think he says, "Would you like fish tacos?" And he is here to have dinner with me.
That's awesome. Okay. What incredibly common thing have you never done?
I've never gotten my ears pierced.
Really?
No.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Do you not want them pierced?
No, I don't like. So this is a very ironic thing. I don't like needles.
Yeah.
But I'm a seamstress, right?
Right.
I realize as long as I'm the one who has the needle, it's okay.
You don't like syringes.
Hate those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like 1 million ear piercings. Like,
yeah.
I think I have 14 holes in my ears between these ones and all these. Nobody ever notices them, which I think is really funny. But yeah.
No one ever notices that I don't. People give me earrings.
Oh, yeah. You can switch them out to being like clamp back though, yeah?
When I was little, I made myself earrings, and I thought the clamp backs and the hooks were the same. So there was one day where I went around with those on my ears.
What do you mean?
Like, I just put like the hooks because I thought.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a good day.
That's awesome. I can tell you that, like, okay, I got 4 of them at the bottom when I was in like college, and then 2 on this side. And then I waited until I was like 40, and I got all of these ones up here, and I got three, there's 3 tiny ones right here that are all with their individual holes. I got them all done within like 2 years of each other. And if you get them pierced when you're older, it takes infinitely longer to heal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you think you might ever want them pierced, do it while you're young.
Because I've thought about it. Where I'm like, because it'd be fun to like have earrings, but then also like thing going through my body. Yeah. And then I do that circle.
When I got these 4 done, they were like, well, I had the first one when I was really little, but when I got these 4 done, they healed in like a matter of a couple days. When I got the triplet done, it was like 7 months of me going like, ow. So younger is better.
So like triplet, like it's like 3 in a row?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see them. There are 3 that are like really close together right here. There's 3 little stars. So they're in a triangle formation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is that like Harry Potter, like the chapter thing?
It wasn't intended to be,
Oh, okay.
but that's awesome.
Because one of my friends really wants to get a tattoo because it's like the three little stars
Hmm.
that are at the beginning of each chapter, and like
Yeah.
wanted like that discrete tattoo.
Have you seen my Harry Potter tattoo?
No.
I have a giant Harry Potter tattoo. It's massive.
Oh. Whoa. Ooh, that's so pretty. Oh, with the boat and everything.
Yeah, I was like, I want Durmstrang.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I considered those stars are like asterisks, and I did consider getting that, like actually right behind. I still might, like, it's a thing, but it's a way for people who like Harry Potter to identify each other without it being like overtly Hogwarts on your arm.
Have both.
Yeah,
Best of
you can
both
have
worlds.
both. Although my husband is like, please stop putting ink all over your body.
See, I also could never get a tattoo because needles.
Yeah. Although I have to say, if I had to pick a tattoo or a piercing, I would pick a tattoo every time.
See?
Yeah. First of all, like these piercings up here took like these are still healing and it's been like 2 or 3 years. Like it literally takes that long. A tattoo, you hurt while it's happening. And
Yes.
even then, it's really not that bad. Depending on where it is. Like there are some places in that tattoo where I was like, and then but most of it I was like, ow, but whatever. It's kind of like, when you prick yourself when you're sewing.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
So
Repeatedly.
repeatedly for like, you know, a while. But my tattoo artist was really awesome and she won't tattoo you for very long at a time. So that took 3 sessions because she would only do it for like an hour and then I'd come back later and do it.
Mhm.
But yeah, you only feel it right then. And then I cover mine with Tegaderm for a few days and then take it off. But it never hurt again afterward. Like the healing is like a week.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I take tattoos over piercings. I kept thinking about getting one of these like weird ones on the inside here where you can get a loop. And then I got these and I was like, nope, that's not happening.
I've also seen like the bar ones, one of my friends.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Especially these ones already, like if you sleep on them, they're going through your cartilage. So if it's like wiggly off at all, it makes your ear sore all day. I can't imagine having a bar where it's like 2 points of contact to like get messed up. Like if you tweak it, it hurts in 2 spot. I'm like, no.
Mm.
Nuh-uh.
I feel like also you have like way more like surface for it to
Yeah.
rub or catch. Just like
Glasses, hair things, like hair. My hair catches on my earrings all the time. So
my
yeah.
hair will get stuck in doors. Like
Oh
my
yeah.
car door, it like just blows up and I'm just like, well, this is my life
This
now.
is how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite noodle dish?
Noodle dish. Ooh, there's so many good noodles. I love noodles.
Me too.
I'm gonna go with my order at O House at the pasta station because this is what I would always get at O House, which is a dining hall at UGA where I went. So I would always I liked it best when they had the penne pasta, but
Mhm.
it was just kind of whatever happens that day with pasta.
Yeah.
Then I would get Alfredo sauce,
Hmm.
onions, broccoli, and then Parmesan cheese on top.
That's like bordering on carbonara.
Oh.
Yeah.
And chicken. I would get chicken in there too.
Carbonara has peas instead of broccoli and then also like pancetta. But yeah,
Maybe I'll have to try that.
yeah. It's really good. Like I highly recommend carbonara. My favorite noodle dish changes like all the time, but my favorite noodles are always Asian noodles. Like right now, soupy dumplings, that's what I'm talking about. Although I don't think those count as noodles, but I'm counting them as noodles.
I love some dumplings.
Yeah.
Dumplings are great.
Yeah.
All types of dumplings.
Yeah. Shanghai street noodles are like my jam. I spent 3 weeks in Shanghai and you can go out at like 4 o'clock in the morning and there's some dude with a cart like
Nice.
outside. And for like literally $1, you can get this giant box full of noodles that have been like cooked right in front of you. And they're like the most savory umami, like perfection in your mouth. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's fantastic.
Who is the most interesting person you've ever met?
I think I might have to say my grandma.
Oh, that's not a cop-out answer.
It's not?
No, that's a great
Okay.
answer. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've had people say their partner. I've had
Okay.
people say themselves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because like you should be interesting to you, right? Like,
That's really good. Like good self-love there.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
we
and
love
that
that.
person who said that is like primo with that one. So yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, but I would have to say my grandma because I just think that she's had like a really interesting, inspirational life. One of my favorite facts is when everyone tells me that like their grandma's pie is the best. And I said, "Oh no, like my grandma's pie is the best and I can prove it because she won the pie baking state championship in Oregon and went to nationals."
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did she win nationals?
She did not. Her crust got a little bit too burnt because she wasn't used to the oven.
Mm, that
That's very
sucks.
sad.
Like,
It really does.
yeah, like you lose because of like something stupid with equipment. Like,
Yeah, it was kind
mm-mm.
of like a technical like equipment failure.
Yeah,
Like, you know, you're not used to working with the stove, but yeah, but
yeah.
she did win best cherry pie in the state of Oregon, which is where my mom's side of the family is from, and then some of them still live there. Some of us are no longer there, but yeah, she got to like present a pie to the governor, and she had her own radio like guest spotlight on the radio, and she was just a girl from Shed, Oregon,
Hmm.
which is still just like a crossroads town.
Uh-huh.
uh, like it is Shed with two D's, which is interesting.
Uh-huh.
But that's where my ancestral family mill is, and is
Oh,
actually a state historic site in Oregon.
wow.
Thompson's Family Mill.
That's
They
crazy.
made
That's
flour.
awesome. They made flour.
Yeah.
Yeah, my flour comes from Oregon, actually, weirdly. I order bougie flour for my sourdough starter, which I, by the way, got at the beginning of COVID because I'm a basic white girl and have not yet made sourdough with it. But I have kept that sourdough starter alive for an entire year. And I'm like, yeah.
That is impressive.
Its name is Anthrax because my friend sent me. So you can dry your sourdough starter
Uh-huh.
and then send it to your friends. So my friend dried out her sourdough starter, like the off-cast stuff, dried it and sent it to me. And then she wrote all over because I was joking and I was like, oh, the postal service is going to think it's anthrax. And so she wrote all over it, this is not anthrax. And then there's like more than one package, still not anthrax. Like, so we've named the
That's like they're going to look at it and be like, it's definitely anthrax. Like this is
Yeah.
how someone would disguise anthrax.
Right. So hers is anthrax and mine's anthrax, or hers is anthrax senior and mine is anthrax junior.
Yeah, my family does. My mom's side of the family does a lot of baked goods.
I still want to make sourdough bread at some point, but like all my friends' horror stories about how hard it actually is to make sourdough bread, I was like, okay.
We've done. I don't think Grandma does sourdough. Well, I mean, I'm sure she has, but it's not a normal one. That's like one of our faves that she always makes at different holiday gatherings.
You can make sourdough where you add yeast also, and then it becomes
Yeah.
a lot easier to make because you're adding more stuff to it. But there is a way to make sourdough with just your sourdough starter, but it like you got to ramp that thing up. You got to feed it every like 4 hours for like a really long time and stuff. So like I'm sewing.
Yeah.
Like you got to pick your battles. And so I make this like white girl onion pancake with it where you just take the starter and you put it on, I put it on a crepe pan because that's my favorite pan. And then you put sesame oil down before it and put it on it, let it like basically fry on there and become a pancake, and put
Okay.
sesame seeds on it and more oil on top and then scallions, and then flip it. And then you eat it with like soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, and sesame oil like mixed together.
Sounds so good. I
It's
love
so good.
onions.
I've also made sourdough crumpets with my cast off. So yeah, I learned how to do a lot of things with sourdough cast off, but I have not actually made the bread.
But you've been using it,
I
you know?
have.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's almost like more creative than making like actual sourdough at that point.
Yeah. And it's way faster, like way less time consuming. So
Bread takes so long to make.
bread takes so long to make for a thing that we consider like our like almost like our historical food. Like people have always eaten bread of some kind,
Yeah.
like bread was like one of the first food. Like no, it really wasn't, because bread is really hard to make. And like you'd have to accidentally make bread in a way in order to figure out how to make bread, because it's actually really complicated, because you gotta like cuddle it and keep it warm for a
Yeah.
little while, and then you gotta squish it, and then you gotta like cuddle it and keep it warm for a little, like it's a
Like, who just held on to dough for that long first?
right, right.
Like, who was just like, you know what? This gooey substance, I'm just gonna let it sit in a warm place.
And then I'm gonna squish it, and then I'm gonna let it sit in a warm place again.
Yeah.
Because like there are like triple rise breads, you're just like,
Yeah.
what? Like, wow, okay.
And
So
then
yeah.
I guess you have like flatbreads where you don't have yeast.
Yeah.
And then, because you wouldn't have to let that rise. I was just thinking, like,
I think those are probably the oldest breads. Like just
yeah.
like that's a logic thing though, I'm guessing. I don't know that that's true, but like if you go to like a Lebanese or Persian place, how you get that flatbread, I'm thinking that's like, I mean, it is where Mesopotamia is, right? So like that's probably where the bread came from. So if you were to meet any historical figure and be able to ask them any one question, who would it be and what would you ask?
Oh my gosh. I have so many people.
Uh-huh.
But this is a person that I would have to like have a burning question about.
Uh-huh. My favorite one so far was asking Jack the Ripper who he was.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's a good one.
Do you think that it was actually the guy who they think it's now, with the guy who came to America and then became the other dude who murdered a bunch of people?
I don't know, but I know that at one point they thought it was an American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was an interesting conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I don't know.
They like attempted to prove some of it with DNA, but it was like, was it actually the guy, or was it a guy that the lady had just known and her DNA got on his shawl?
Also, you're talking about a 150-year-old shawl that has like possibly been passed around a lot, and also of a prostitute. Like
that was my thing. I was like, it could have just been one of her other customers.
Right.
Like, why are we like saying this dude like just like smashing him
right
150 years later? Because he might not have been the killer.
Yeah. I think I don't know who I think it is. Yeah.
That was interesting. I actually worked also in college at an escape room, which we had a Titanic and Jack the Ripper themed rooms.
Ooh, I would do both of those.
It was really cool. I actually got the job there because I showed up in a costume to the Titanic one.
Oh, yeah. That would get you the job. I have a squad of people that I do escape rooms with that we go regularly because we're good as a team.
Ooh, I would love to be your game master for the Jack the Ripper one, because it's not lock based, it's puzzle based.
That is what we are the best at.
Because everyone usually is our hardest room. Almost no one ever gets it. Except like some people where I'm just like, y'all know how to work together as a team and also are very smart.
We have never failed a room, no matter how hard it is. But it's largely because we have like literally selected the team to have like all the different kinds of brains.
Nice.
To do different things. And we know which person goes with what kind of puzzle the best. So we like, there's like whatever, 10 of us. So if it's an 8-person room, we pick the 8 people, and then the 8 people go in, and if there's 4 puzzles right there or whatever, we send the 4 people who are best at that. And then they usually have a partner that's also really good, and they will go hit those particular puzzles. I am a good squad leader and information gatherer, and like a person who can go, wait a minute, did you see that? Wait a minute, did you do that? Kind of thing. Or like, let's pick up the rug kind of person. Yes. None of them are like that. So I do that kind of stuff.
So you have like the escape room dream team.
Yeah, yes. And it's very fun. Like we have a really, really good time.
Well, if you ever end up in Atlanta.
I end up in Atlanta actually, like kind of like not with my whole squad though. Like I go to DragonCon, so.
See, maybe we'll see each other at DragonCon one day.
Yes, for sure. If I go to DragonCon, I'm going to call you for sure.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go this year. I hope everything's okay enough for where.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with Marie Antoinette then, because I think it would be interesting to actually know her thoughts about the French Revolution and its people.
Yeah.
she's always vilified in such a way
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to make her the villain because she's this Austrian princess who comes in and they're calling her Madame Deficit. And, how much of that was propaganda and how much of that was like actually she herself either being awful or vilified,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure it's a little bit of all, but it'd just be interesting to meet her to see, like,
Yeah.
what's up? Like, what are your actual thoughts? Did you actually say, let them eat cake?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. She'd be like, what?
Yeah. Like,
No,
no.
that's stupid.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Like, what? People say I said that? No.
Yeah. I often wonder what people that are historical figures would think about how we saw them now. Like, they're just like, none of this is accurate. Like, this is not who I am. Also, we see people as so one-dimensional. Like, they are just that thing. Like, George Washington was just the first president. Like, never mind that he also, like, fought in a bunch of wars before that, and in fact screwed the pooch on a bunch of them and like got a bunch of guys killed. Like, nobody talks about that. That's not a thing.
Started the 7 Years' War, kinda.
So like, we don't talk about that. We just have this one-dimensional cherry tree situation going on, and you're like, no. Or like, Abraham Lincoln stopped the Civil War, or ended the Civil War and like gave freedom to Black people. You're like, but actually he did not care about that at all. Like, he just wanted it to end. So like,
a lot more.
Yeah, there's a lot more. So yeah, I feel like we narrow the scope of how we know people, which is why I think Hamilton was such an interesting thing for us, because we took a guy who's on a bill that like literally almost none of us have ever heard of before. I mean, you hear about him like in a poop doop, and then you move on in history class in high school, because it wasn't actually a president. And so you're like, who the hell cares who invented the treasury, and move on, right? Like, if when you're 15, you're like, yeah, money, right? So like, capitalism. So you're just like, that guy doesn't matter. And then you see this play about him for 4 hours or whatever it is, and your mind is blown, and you know this person, even though that account is also kind of tweaked a little bit, but it's generally pretty correct. So like, if we could do that with all of the people that we study, I think we would have a more rich learning experience about history.
See, I feel like I do that because that's my chosen path and profession. And like, a couple of rules about history is like, it's always more complex than you think it is. Like, it's just always more complex, because people will ask us questions, or me questions when I'm doing my school children groups. And I mean, I don't always sit down and learn. I'm like, okay, children, that's going to need like a 2-hour answer, because we're all standing and we have to go eat lunch at some point. But it's always sometimes I like, especially if I'm talking to older groups, is like, qualify that with, well, that's a very complex thing, but like, if we're going to look at it in a nutshell, like, if we are going to like bring it down, but we're also going to acknowledge that it's an incredibly complex subject in which like entire like multiple books and college courses are dedicated to like this one subject.
Yeah. And it would take me hours to answer any question you actually have. Like, just because you know how your life is complicated, their life is complicated.
Very complicated. And then their complications affected literally so much.
Right. And that's another thing. We never think about the fact that we could be part of history.
Oh, yeah.
And that what we do is complicated, and that people might look at us this way.
Oh, I think about that all the time, and it freaks me out.
Yeah. I try really hard not to think about it, because like, I mean, I put my life, not my life, I put one piece of my life online all the time, right? So like, not only is there a digital record of all the things I'm saying, so you're like, did I want to say that out loud to 30,000 people who could someday be several million? Like, who knows who will see this, right? So like, or what if I get famous for some other reason? Like, I get killed by a serial killer, and suddenly everyone's like, oh, this person got killed. And then they go watch all my YouTube videos, right? Like, I think one of my like things in my will is going to be like delete my channel.
Yeah. I
You
think
know, like,
that's really a good thing.
yeah,
Perhaps.
although this is a Wayback Machine, like you can get anything back. So like, do you know about that? Okay, so there's this thing called the Wayback Machine. Go Google it. It is like literally you can go to any period in history and see anything that was on the internet at any period in history. Like it doesn't have every single thing, but it has almost all of it. It's crazy. It's an internet archive. So you think you deleted your MySpace page? You did
Yeah.
not. It's still in the Wayback Machine.
But someone would have to like go really hard search for it, right?
No, you just have to type Wayback Machine and then search your name.
I'm not sure if I want to do that.
Right? Well, you should play with it so you know what it is, so you know what it contains. Like
Yeah,
you can go check yourself out, but like for everybody in the audience, that's a thing. So, yeah. All right, I have a two-parter for you.
Oh, okay.
What was something you thought would be easy until you tried it? I've got a good one to set you off.
Oh, okay.
I thought using an electric drill was going to be super easy. As it turns out, no. Because those guys on TV are like, like, and you're like, yes, I want that to happen to me. And then you get it and you're like, wait a minute, this thing's heavy and it's not aimed right. And oh God, the screw went in so fast. Like,
I think the first time I ever actually used an electric drill was for set building in high school. But it was like one screw and they were just like, now everyone knows how to use a drill. I'm like, but not actually though.
But not actually though. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the time that I actually got taught how to like do a drill and they just told me to do it was at an art museum.
Oh, fun.
I was interning and it was great, except I was terrified that I was going to like mess up the wall at the museum when they're like, drill in. And I was just like, and then we're going to hang the picture on it. Okay. But actually I had good teachers. So.
Oh, that's good. I didn't have a teacher. I just had a drill. And then, yeah, that was fun because it looks so easy. It's a gun. You just go.
It does. They make it look so easy on all the home renovation shows.
They totally do. And it turns out that thing's really heavy. You actually have to like hold it hard against the thing.
You have to push so hard.
Yes. And then you have to like throttle that finger thing like way more than you expect because otherwise it'll go and it's in and it's like it's always at some wrong angle because you held it weird.
That's always the worst when I'm just like, how do I make it like not crooked?
Pilot holes. That is what I've learned. Pilot holes. Yeah.
Because this is just like the first thing that comes to my mind, and that is driving a stick shift. I thought it would be easier than it actually was. It was actually it was. I thought I would like get it more, but it was kind of hard. Yeah. Especially because the way I was taught was either in a very small parking lot, so I had to like gun it and then like switch gears and then like slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
And then I was taken out also, that was the first time, right? And then the second time I was taken out into our neighborhood, which is just a giant hill.
Right, yeah,
and trying to drive a stick shift on a hill is challenging.
It is.
When you don't know what you're doing. And then also, I still hear about this to this day, is I left the emergency brake on. I didn't know we're in that car because I'd only been in that car, like driven it twice at that point. I didn't know where the emergency brake was, and I didn't know where like it's an older car. So
and your teacher didn't tell you remove the emergency brake? Okay,
no,
now I'll do that.
The entire time. So I think it's partially the teacher's fault.
Yeah, it's like, no, it is 100% the teacher's fault because that is like a rudimentary part of let's go. Take the brake off. And if you don't know that it's on, especially on a stick shift, it's actually really easy to drive with it on.
Yeah, I did for like an hour.
Yeah.
On a hill.
So it's actually kind of easier to learn if you have it on. Actually,
it is? Okay.
Yeah. So actually you probably did pretty good because like it'll keep you from rolling
installed,
back
like,
too hard, you know?
Twice. I think it was my dad's car, and he was trying to teach me how to use it because he wanted to give me like the old car, like when I learned how to drive. And then we saw that it was not the best fit.
Yeah.
For me to drive the stick shift. So they're like, you know what? Maybe we'll get you a different car.
That's good. That's another
not
option. Do you know how to drive a stick now?
I feel like I could, in an absolute emergency, I could like figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a little bit of the knowledge, but am I in any way, shape, or form qualified to like drive a stick on the road where it is not an apocalypse emergency situation? No.
Yeah. Okay. What is something that you thought would be hard until you tried it?
My embroidery machine. I thought it was going to be way harder, but it was actually pretty easy because you just like type in which ones you want, and then it's on the computer screen, and then you just stick the fabric under there and hit start and stop. And like, knock on wood, something wooden, I have not had a thread break on me. So I thought like I was very concerned that it was going to be super hard, but I literally just like stick it in there and it just goes. It's tedious sometimes, but
You just made me feel a lot better about it because I really want to get an embroidery machine. And like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with like learning all that new stuff. But if it's really like beep, 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 I'm really good at beep, 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 beep.
It's beep, beep, beep. Unless you try to design your own, which I did think would be easier, and it's actually very hard.
Yeah, I'll call Christine. Like, I don't, I don't need to do that. I'll just be like, hey, Christine, what are you doing? Are you bored?
But on Etsy and all those places, you can go buy other people's digital files.
Yep.
And it's super easy. You put them on a flash drive and you stick them in the embroidery machine, and then it's just more beep, beep, boops. I
want to do that now.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending lots of money for me.
You're welcome. It was actually my parents' money.
No, of my money, because I'm going to go.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if I can get Janome to send me one.
Ooh.
I got this because I'm a Janome ambassador, so I'm like,
nice.
I wonder
I got a brother because like most of my other stuff is brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that one that I got.
Mm-hmm. I like brother also. Like, that's a good brand. I'm into that one. What, in your opinion, is the most amazing animal?
I feel like I have to say cats, because my little baby Lucky is like the precious thing. And I have a lot of cats, and my parents has cats, and also my fiance has cats.
How many cats you got?
So he has one, and I only claim Lucky at my house. But then I went off to college, and I think my mom just kept adopting more stray cats.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not exactly sure how many there just like are around exactly. Uh-huh. But so I think there's 5 that technically live at my parents' house, like officially.
Yeah.
And then there are just like a few others that are just kind of like come by and say hi.
Yeah. What would you do if you could not fail?
Maybe become an actress.
Oh, okay.
Like try to break into, like, if I couldn't fail and I was going to be successful. Because not failing and successful is not always the same thing.
Yeah.
But maybe go into the movie picture industry.
Yeah. Perhaps. I feel like you have the look and the attitude and all the stuff that you would need. So like, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Have you ever had an imaginary friend?
No, I have not. And as an only child, perhaps people expect that I would.
I had lots of them because I'm an only. Yeah.
But I had some stuffed animals that I was very attached to and had personalities. One of which I refused to let people call a stuffed animal because I thought that was degrading to the stuffed animal. But because I was like, it's more than a stuffed animal. This is my friend. And then also American Girl dolls. And like a lot of those always had like one of those with me, and like we were doing adventures and stuff.
Yeah. So. I'm just too old for those. Like I never knew they existed until I was an adult because I'm just a little bit too old for that. I come from like Teddy Ruxpin generation.
The what?
We had this thing called Teddy Ruxpin, and it was a teddy bear, and you could put a tape in the back, like an. Do you know what a tape is?
Yes, I had.
I'm like, when I talk to the kids, I'm like, do you know what this thing is? Okay, so VHS. So you could put an audio tape in the back, and then you could hit play, and its little mouth would move and its eyes would blink, but like it was rudimentary and like it was creepy AF. Like go watch a video. Like the videos it's actually creepy. But as a kid, that was like the height of technology for kids, and so I enjoyed my Teddy Ruxpin a lot. But we didn't have American Girl dolls. How superstitious are you?
I think it depends on the situation, because in a theater people have so many superstitions. Like, you can't say the name of the Scottish play, and if you do, pardon?
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Okay. If all the world is a stage,
maybe you can't ever say it.
No, you can always say it, because you can only not say it backstage.
Smart. Or in rehearsal.
Yeah, but if all the world is a stage, then there's no rehearsal. It's
true. But you can undo the curse, I've heard.
How so?
Yes. So I always like to throw this in there in case other people perhaps don't know that you
accidentally say it.
Yeah. You have to go outside the theater, like outside the theater building. You have to spin around 3 times. I think you spin over your left shoulder, and then you have to say a line from one of his other plays.
Okay.
And then you have to be invited back into the theater.
Wow, that's a complex undo.
Yeah.
Also, that is a really fast way for me to get spit in my hair, because like I don't know that I could project. Yeah.
Yeah. My theater, like in high school, we did a thing called like the secret ritual before plays that we like had to do. Which was like nothing, but I'm still not going to say it. And then also for my sorority in college, people think sororities are a cult, and like I'm about to say this and people are going to think it's like makes it more of a cult, but it's not a cult. But I was the ritualist in our sorority.
Okay.
Which I can't say anything that we did, but it was nothing that was weird.
Yeah.
Some people do weird things. We never did anything weird.
I was in Job's Daughters, and it's a Masonic organization, and people think that's a cult, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to tell you what happens in there, but also like literally nothing happens in there.
People are like, oh, it's so weird.
Yeah.
There's like rumors about like one that you have to like pop out of a coffin, and just no.
Yeah. Okay.
People don't do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure people don't do that. I think that's just a rumor.
Masons
like,
don't kill people, folks.
Like nothing like that. Like it was. I had to come up with like at least like one interesting thing for us to do because we were new. So I was just like, this is just really boring. We have to come up with like at least like some little like fun, interesting thing. So I think they're still doing it.
Oh, hey.
No, I'm not there.
Legacy.
Anymore. Yeah, I was like. That was one of the fun things is because I was one of like the first in our organization. So I was like, I get to like make up stuff.
That's cool. That's really fun.
Everyone else has to do it forever.
That's awesome. When you're like 80, you should go back and be like, you're still doing that. Ha, I made that up. By the way, that doesn't actually mean anything because they'll have made like a whole lore about it by then, right?
Oh, I'm like, yes. I'll have to go back someday and see if they're actually still doing it. And also because I don't think it's written down anywhere. I'm pretty sure it was just like word of mouth. I tried to write it down somewhere, but I don't think anyone like kept it.
Right. What book or movie do you wish you could experience again for the first time?
Oh, maybe the magic of the first Harry Potter book.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. That, or I would also say, this is like my new favorite book trilogy that I actually have not finished, but the first book of Discovery of Witches.
Oh, is it good?
It's so good.
Okay.
I love it.
Is the TV show good?
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm biased. I love it because it's the first one set in Oxford. And it's just beautiful things of Oxford. And I studied abroad there in the summer, and I literally fell in love with the town. Yeah. And I love Oxford.
It's a great place. Like the school is great, but also the place is great.
Yeah, both. Yeah. So I just like the entire like first season, I sit there and I yell at the screen with whoever I'm watching. I'm like, and that's this place, and that's this place, and this place, and this place, and I went here, and it's great. And then also the second season, I haven't watched the second season yet, but I was in the Radcliffe camera while they were filming the second season, and I was like in Oxford while they were filming the second season.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah. So if you ever see like some drone shot of Radcliffe camera, and the second one is some guy riding a bike back and forth, I was in that building.
Do you watch the Philip Pullman series show? Because that's also Oxford. It's his Dark Materials. So the book series is great. It's very complicated to explain what is happening, but it's like an alternate Earth. But the main character, Lyra, lives at Oxford. She like is the ward of the school for part of it.
Okay.
She does leave because like there's a adventure beyond. It is Philip Pullman wrote it as a response to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Wait, is that the Golden Compass? No, that's another one that was written in response to that.
No, that is that.
Oh,
His
it
Dark
is
Materials is His Dark Materials is the name of the series. The first one is called The Golden
Oh.
Compass. The second one is called The Subtle Knife, I think, and then there's another one. But yeah, so there was a movie that was called The Golden Compass that was made of it. That was okay. Like it was not bad actually, but the book is crazy better. And the series now, there's a series that's on, I think it's on HBO. It's on the second season, which is the second book. Like they're doing an entire season as one book, which I'm like, that's actually amazing. It has Lin-Manuel Miranda in it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good. Like it's really well made, and it's very much, it follows the book.
Yeah. I think the Discovery of Witches TV show, it follows the book really well. It's just not as in depth because a TV show just can't.
Yeah.
And I think some of the magic scenes are good, and some of them are like, oh, you didn't have enough budget.
Yeah.
Like
that's one thing about the first Harry Potter movie that like it didn't happen in the rest of the movies, but like it followed the book and it got the magic right, and it didn't cut very much out. Like there's not a lot of that book that got cut out from the movie. I'm like, that's actually kind of amazing that they managed to like pretty much make the book into a movie.
They also used so much setting at Oxford.
Yeah.
And I just, every time like I went to Christchurch for class, I'd be like, this is where the Harry Potter staircase is.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is your favorite magical or mythological animal?
Ooh. Is this with like if I had to be a magical one, or just like to appreciate like,
I think it's just like Magical Creature Appreciation Day.
Okay. Because that's different.
Yeah.
Because like I would not choose to be a unicorn.
Right.
But I admire unicorns.
Right.
I'd probably choose to be a mermaid, which I have attempted to be because I have a mermaid tail.
Oh, yeah.
If only I can breathe underwater, it would be great.
Yeah, then you could.
I love mermaids. I think I would choose to be a mermaid. And I think if I had to just choose one to behold, it would be a unicorn.
To behold.
Yes.
I love it.
I want to behold a unicorn.
Yeah. Okay. I want to hold a unicorn.
You know what? What if they were like little cute, like cuddly baby unicorns?
Like a baby. Yeah. Like a little, even baby unicorns would probably be huge, but like I would like to cuddle one. That would be fun.
Like a pony unicorn.
Yeah. 100%. If you can have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, and it cannot be money, what is it? Sushi, Scotch tape, black thread, cat food.
I also, that went through my head. Cat litter. What do I spend like most on just repetitively buying?
Yeah.
In my daily life.
Maybe electricity. That'd be cool.
I was trying to think, I'm like, how can I get one of my bills to be in here?
Yeah. Like my electric bill is a lot. Actually, it's not. I have solar panels, but
that's super cool.
My gas bill is really high in the winter because the heater is gas powered. So
we have like a giant gas tank outside that apparently does not fuel anything but a fireplace.
Oh, interesting. Ours is like pumped in from the city.
We are like, we don't even have city sewer. We're like out.
Oh,
Oh, wait, we have a septic tank.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would want to have an endless supply of water.
Mm-hmm.
To drink, to like have pumped through my house.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I could just have like an endless free supply of water.
Yeah, free water would be cool. I spend a lot of my water bill.
Because then I could have a pool too and a hot tub and like
Yeah.
throw
I
that
have a
out.
hot tub. You don't
Oh,
use it as much as you think you would. Like, it's weird.
awesome.
When you own it, like, I mean, I don't think I've gone in my hot tub during all of lockdown
Oh, wow.
because it's outside and you have to like remove the cover, and it's like, that sounds so dumb of a reason why not to, but it's like, just it's the barrier of a pain in the ass, and then you got to come back
Yeah.
in, and like, ours is cleaned with ozone, so there's no chemicals in it,
Mhm.
but you're still kind of itchy when you get out of it because it is like water that's just getting hot all the time. So like, you got to take a shower right out. Like, it's not like a bath. Let's just say that. Like, if I had a bathtub, I don't have a bathtub in my house, which makes me really
Ah,
sad. We live in a place where there's a drought all the time, so
that's a thing.
baths are kind of irresponsible. But a hot tub, you don't necessarily fill all the time. So, and I also have a koi pond, which does have to get water put into it. So like,
Ooh.
if I should keep the fish alive before I should take a bath. So
With an endless supply of water.
yep, then I could
Maybe
have a
California.
bathtub.
That's what California needs. It's just an endless supply of water everywhere.
Okay, so you know how they have oil pipelines where it's just like a giant pipe and they pipe oil through it?
Yeah.
Not that complicated. So like, Seattle, which happens to be right above us, seems to have an abundance of water that they don't want. Like, they're always pissed
Yeah.
off because they got too much water. And I'm like, why don't we have water pipelines?
Yeah.
Like they could pump so much water down here that we wouldn't have to be in a drought all the time, right? Like, I don't understand the priorities here. Like, I get it, oil is important, but like, water is way more important than oil. Like, I think we can all agree on that, everybody but, Detroit or whatever. But like, you know, so I'm always wondering, like, why don't they pump that down? Like, that seems like we could solve
Yeah.
their problem, they could solve our problem.
Like, hey, let's come together because
Yeah.
we both have problems. If we
A
work together, we can
United
solve them.
States. Yeah. All right, if you could hang out with any cartoon character, who would you choose and why?
Oh, whoa. This is like the historical figure question, but not real humans.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd probably be a Disney princess.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to like decide which one because then
I
I would also
mean,
have.
your
Pardon?
channel name is Historical Belle.
I know. So I feel like I have to choose Belle, but
You don't.
also that means like, do I have to participate in the story? Because then I would just be
No.
like stuck in a castle.
No, you're just hanging out with them.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
have to be
Okay.
them. It's who you
I was
want to
like,
hang out with.
okay. I'd probably want to hang out with, obviously, like Belle's my favorite
Yeah.
because like Historical Belle, like that's kind of how my channel got its name. But I also do really love Rapunzel. I think
Oh.
she's so cute.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Like, if I had to choose one, like a princess I looked up to and like want to be like, it's also like Belle, and I also slightly identify with Belle, but I also kind of like my personality wise is more Rapunzel, even though I don't like identify with her as strongly.
Yeah.
But I identify more with Belle's story.
Who would you want to like have breakfast with?
I think I want to have breakfast with Belle.
Okay. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
that's your answer.
That's
Mine
my
was
answer.
Scooby for a long time.
I love Scooby Doo.
Yeah. But also, I kind of realized at some point recently that like, if I made friends with one that had like a mech of some sort or a spaceship, or like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this anime called Akira. This guy has this really badass bike. I'm like, I wonder if I could get a ride on the bike,
Yeah.
or in the mech, or in the spaceship. Like, that might not suck.
Yeah.
Although,
cool.
if you hang out with Scooby-Doo, all you do is get scared.
Yeah, you end up running a lot.
Yeah. I'm not
you
good
could
at
ride in
running.
the Mystery Machine though.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That's true. So, yeah, I might be revamping my answer. I'll have to figure that out. If you could have a personal assistant, what would you have them do?
Like all the chores that I don't want to. Like I want like a housekeeper that runs errands.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would want.
Yeah. I think you can get your personal assistant to do, you have to full disclosure when they start the job, but that's a thing you could get.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't mind doing chores. Like, I would do that. Yeah. Have you ever had a supernatural event or seen a ghost?
So I don't think I've ever seen a ghost, but I I think at one point someone thought I was a ghost. It's a fun story.
I mean, you are pale, but
I
like,
am so pale. I was at a photo shoot the other day, or however long ago, because time has no meaning anymore.
right.
And the photographer literally said, I have to put a filter on you, like on the camera, because I'm so pale that I was reflecting so much light.
That's amazing. I mean, it adds to your like ethereal glow.
When I go to find foundation, I'm in like that upper range where I'm like, should I just like smear baby powder on my face? Like, is that my favorite is like, I don't know, remember what my foundation's actually called, but I remember because I have like I'm not that good at makeup. And I had my friend who is good at makeup go with me the last time I was buying foundation. I was like, help me. And we went through so many different ones until we find the perfect one. But we were going through ones where it got like, they usually have like nice names.
Mm-hmm.
We literally got to like the one that was like on the far end and it just literally said pale. Like cloud or porcelain. And then there was just pale. Like,
that's you.
I sit in an office most days that has no windows and I have just gotten worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so someone thought you were a ghost?
Yes. Okay. Going back to that story. So when I was getting into historical costuming, reenactment, living history, which eventually led me to my job, I, for most of high school, volunteered at a historic house museum.
Sure.
And every August, we did a Victorian morning themed tour.
Mm-hmm.
And we would put up, like, everything would get draped in black. We had a small coffin that we would put, like, in the parlor, and there was Victorian hair jewelry, and literally as if you were going into a Victorian home that was in full mourning.
Right.
And on the house tour, of course, like my favorite part about volunteering is that I got to wear costumes. So I was wearing a full Victorian mourning garb.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I see where this is going.
You
are now nightmare fuel.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So I am on break. It's not my time to do the tour. So I'm outside. I'm in the country store chatting and getting a cream soda. And
how'd you do?
As you do. Children come screaming out of the house that were on the tour.
Okay.
And I was confused because I was like, they're kind of like going fast. Like, it's not like, oh, kids got bored. It was like, no, children are like running
away
out the door. And I was like, maybe they got scared with the Victorian mourning thing. So I get closer and like one's like, he's dead. And I was like, who's dead? And then the tour guide who was on top, like actually doing it, comes out the door and says, I've called an ambulance. And I'm like, what? Apparently there was a man who like projectile vomited and then passed out. So
this is now the trailer for this video. Just that one sentence. Okay.
So eventually the EMTs arrive and Arlu is like dealing with them, and I am like trying to like we've basically put the tour on pause until this man is like coming to. So she takes the EMTs inside. She comes back and gets me, who's just kind of like outside making sure like everything's okay. She comes back and she said, Marie, like, I'll deal with the EMTs, you take over the tour and like attempt to get through it. I was like, okay. So I go back and I remembered that I had left my bonnet with my Victorian mourning veil in this country store. So I go back, I get that, I'm putting it on. I then walk into the house in my full Victorian mourning. And the EMT is like over this person who has come to and is doing fine, but turns around because he hears the door open and then sees me like full Victorian mourning, like standing at the door, and he just jumps. It was like, he was like, death has come.
That's amazing. Were you dying? Did you like?
I was like surprised and kind of scared myself because like I was like, why is he scared of
You're
me?
like, where's Death? Oh wait, that's me.
Yeah, no, I because I did not think that I looked scary at all.
Oh, you totally are like Crimson Peak level scary, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that like I honestly was just confused. I was like, are we okay? Like yeah, but like very pale person with very draped in black.
I love it.
Morning.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've also spent the night, like I feel like I should have had a supernatural encounter because I've spent the night at so many historic battle sites to where you would think something like that would happen. And there are sometimes I've been scared where I'm just like, oh, is it the wind? Or is it but I think it was just the wind. I don't know.
Okay. I love it when you get like the potential actress like riled because they're like, is it the wind?
Is it a ghost? It could definitely be a ghost, but it also could definitely be the wind.
It totally could. It also totally could. All right, name one cool feature you would add to your dream house.
I feel like I'm just going to go for it. I want a water slide.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I kind of want one that goes like from the second story of my house into the pool.
Yeah,
like not a pansy water slide. Like I want one that does like a loop-de-loo. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, oh, I stayed at this place in Hawaii that had a pool that had like a water slide feature as part of it. And I was like, wait, is that for kids? And they're like, oh no, you can do that. And I was like, well, there's my 7 days. Like,
I am here.
I'll be on the water slide. Bye. Super controversial bonus question. Is a hot dog a sandwich and why?
So I've seen people answer.
Yeah. So you know all my arguments.
Yes. I even looked up on the National Hot Dog site. Like I was like, what is their opinion? I want to see basically their opinion. I think they said that it was not a sandwich because
the National Hot Dog Association. Yes. Okay.
They were of the opinion that it is not a sandwich.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think I've thought about my argument, and I have decided that I'm going to go away that I don't think anyone else has with the argument. I'm going to say it's not a sandwich. Okay. I'm going to say it's not a sandwich because this is my thesis statement. You don't have to eat it in a bun.
Yes. And people have kind of gone that way because their claim is like the hot dog is the thing, not the entire thing. But when I say is a hot dog a sandwich, I mean like the American ideal of a hot dog with the bun. And
I know. Is it traditionally eaten as a sandwich is then the next question.
Yes. Yeah.
And I still don't think it's traditionally eaten as a sandwich.
Okay. Why?
Because it is a hot dog bun. You specifically buy hot dog buns that you don't use on any other type of sandwich.
Okay.
Also, you eat it this way, and most time you eat sandwich the other way.
That is also true. So what about other sandwiches that have their own specific kind of bread, like a croissant sandwich? Is a croissant sandwich a sandwich?
Yes, but you don't. But that's because you can eat a croissant on its own. Most people don't eat. I mean, like hot dog buns.
Yeah, but your argument was that the hot dog could be eaten on its own. So.
Oh, that's true. It is a catch-22 situation.
Right?
In my heart, I just believe.
Okay, that's
that
totally
is
fair. Yeah. I find that historical costumers are heavily on the no side, and people who are not, like people who do cosplay or do a combo, like I do combos, we're almost universally on the front.
Okay.
Yeah. I find that historical costumers are very well actually about things. So
I hope
maybe that leads to this answer, but we'll see. All right. Thank you for joining me today, Marie.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I will leave a list of Marie's accounts below so that you can go ahead and check her out and show her some love. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you guys are up to and some love for Marie. And I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye, guys.